Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Kopi Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premananda. Oh, glories to the assembled ones. Hare Krishna. Oh, glories to the assembled ones. Oh, glories to the assembled ones. Oh, glories to Shri Guru Jivananda. Oh, glories to Shri Prabhupada. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 8th canto, 16th chapter, and we start with verse number 16. So, on the board is 16. Please repeat. Parai Vivasita Sa Aham Magna Vyasana Sagare Aishwaryam Shri Yashaha Sthanam Hritani Prabalai Mama Parai Vivasita Saham Magna Vyasana Sagare Aishwaryam Shir Yashasthanam Ritani Prabalar Mama Parai Vivasita Saham Magna Vyasana Sagare Aishwaryam Shir Yashasthanam Ritani Prabalar Mama Pararar Vivasita Saham Magna Vyasana Sagare Aishwaryam Shir Yashasthanam Ritani Prabalar Mama Parai Vivasita Saham Magna Vyasana Sagare Aishwarya Shri Yasasthanam Hitani Prabhalar Mama Parai Vivasita Saham Magna Vyasana Sagare Aishwarya Shri Yasasthanam Hitani Prabhalar Mama Pararai Vivasita Saham Magna Vyasana Sagare Aishwaryam Shri Yashasthanam Ritani Prabhalar Mama. Like this. Pararai Vivasita Saham Magnavyasana Sagare Aishvaryashi Yasastanam Ritani Prabalair Mamam Pararai Vivasita Saham Magnavyasana Sagare Aishvaryashi Yashastanam Ritani Prabalair Mamam Parai by our enemies Vivasita taken away from our residential quarters Sa the same Aham I Magna drowned Vyasana Sagare in an ocean of trouble Aishvaryam opulence Shri beauty Yashaha reputation Stanam place Ritani all taken away Prabalai very powerful Mama my translation Hiranyakashipu ki jai. Translation. The demons are formidably powerful enemies who have taken away our opulence, our beauty, our fame, and even our residence. Indeed, we have now been exiled and we are drowning in an ocean of trouble. So there is no purport, so we will continue with the next verse. Text 17. Yatatani punasadho prapadyeram mamatmaja tatavi dehi kalyanam dhiya kalyana kritama. Translation. O best of sages, best of all those who grant auspicious benedictions, please consider our situation and bestow upon my sons the benedictions by which they can regain that what they have lost. There is again no purport, so we will continue with the verse 18. Shishuka uvacha evan abhyarti to ditya kastam aha smayan iva aho maya balam vishno sneha badham idam jagat. Translation. Shukadeva Goswami continued. When Kashyapa Muni was thus requested by Aditi, he slightly smiled. Alas, he said, how powerful is the illusory energy of Lord Vishnu, by which the entire world is bound by affection for children. Purport. Kashyapa Muni was surely sympathetic to his wife's affliction, yet he was surprised at how the whole world is influenced by affection. That's the end of the purport. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So I will try to say something. By your blessings, I will be able to say something, or rather to repeat something what was already said, because that's our process. That we are just repeating what was already said, but by our acharyas and by our spiritual master and our teachers. So, Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalaka Chakshur Unmitanya Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Vishnu Krishna Vishnu Krishna Krishna Bhaktivedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Shisha Shunyavadi Pashyate Adeshatari. So try to read the verses again. So verse 16, the demons are formidably powerful enemies who have taken away our opulence, our beauty, our fame, and even our residence. Indeed, we have now been exiled, and we are drowning in an ocean of trouble.
Can I ask who talk?
This is spoken by Aditi.
Aditi?
She's speaking to her husband, Kashyapa Muni. O best of sages, best of all those who grant auspicious benedictions, please consider our situation and bestow upon my sons the benedictions which they can regain that have lost. And today verse. Shukadeva Goswami continued, when Kashyapa Muni was thus requested by Aditi, he slightly smiled. Alas, he said, how powerful is the illusory energy of Lord Vishnu by which the entire world is bound by affection for children. So Aditi, she is speaking to Kashyapa Muni because we can see from this chapter that the position of demigods was not so good because they were kicked by the demons who take over of the higher planetary systems. So you can see that even in these higher planetary systems that where it's you can say they can enjoy much more, still there is suffering. It's they're suffering also. So in Bhagavad Gita, also in 16th chapter, there is mentioned nice verse, Abrahma Bhuvana Loka, in 8th chapter, verse 16. Abrahma Bhuvana Loka, Punar Avartino Juna, Mam Upetyatu Kaunteya, Punar Janma Na Vidyate. From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery, wherein repeated birth and death take place. But one who attains my abode, son of Kunti, never take birth again. And in purport, Srila Prabhupada is writing in that 8th chapter that those who attain the highest material planets, the planets of the demigods, are again subjected to repeated birth and death. As persons on earth are elevated to higher planets, people on higher planets such as Brahmaloka, Chandraloka, and Indraloka fall down to earth. So you can see in these particular verses which we are reading now, this is the situation where the demons enter to the place where was residing Lord Indra, and all the demigods and with the Indra they have to leave the place, and they were hiding, and because of this situation, Aditi was suffering because it was affection for her children. It was was suffering together with them. So we can see that in modern society there is a lot of facilities for enjoyment and producing much more advertisement how we can enjoy more and more. But as Prahlad Maharaj said, it's the chewing the truth, because in every species of life we are enjoying the different types of sensory pleasures, primarily through eating, sleeping, mating, defending, but there is nothing new about it.
but because it does not satisfy our heart, we don't know where else we should look, and we try to create new ways of doing the same old chewing the truth. And that's the situation where even like we all the time trying to like something newest, but it's like the same. It's a nice example, like even like when some old man trying to like enjoy the new car. It's like again, this car will like there will be newest car and it's the same like with the family life, to thinking like, okay, this model I will change for another like new model, new one. It's just doesn't work. But this is like how this material nature is working. And we're thinking we are covered, and we're thinking that these new things will be the better than this, like it will give me better pleasure. We can enjoy more. We can see like how in our own case it's working when it's some like, I don't know, new mobile, new Samsung or new iPhone. I don't know which number is now, 10, 11, 12, 15 or whatever. It's like just okay, I just like we have like something what is like quite usable for just to making calls, but now you have everything there, and it's like something better. I mean, like just some few small things which are ever we use maybe like few times a year, and we think, oh yeah, I should get it. And then after like few weeks, few months, we already like it's like just boring. And then we found out that like this another like new something better than it was. This is already old. This is already old model. So this is also like in family life, many times it's happening the same. You're thinking that we can replace these old phones by some new phones, but it's like the same problems. It's like the same, as it's mentioned, chewing the truth. So there is little, I mean, I can say like there is a pleasure in this world, but the problem is it's still built up on the foundation of suffering. And say like it's like dukalayam ashashvatam. This is like verse before, also in 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Mamupetya punarjanma dukalayam ashashvatam naputmanti mahatmana san siddhim paramam gata. And this translation of the verse is, after attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world, which is full of miseries, because they have attained the highest perfection. And that's words like dukalayam, it means like place of miseries, and ashashvatam means like temporary. So if we're thinking that this is the perfection of life, to be attached to something which is like temporary, which will disappear. All these material things are just temporary, like this body is also temporary. It means like it's just for some time, and it will disappear. It will be just destroyed. So those who are intelligent, they are not just attached to this temporary thing, because they know that this is not goal of life. And we can have like the practical experience from our daily practice, from our life. You can see like all these things all around. We mentioned the car, we can see like the car. You can see like this castle. Like it's like everything during the time is like just going to degradation. It will not become like opposite, that it will be something newer and better. No, it's like this material nature is working on opposite side. So we can see like this in this material world is full of miseries, of birth, old age, disease, and death. And there is no like no one give like a remedy or a recipe how to overcome these things. We will find some person. It's like opposite, like just more like just how to create more, renovate, like how to become more younger. We have all these like pills and all these medicines to cure all this disease, and we can like no worries about that. We can froze you, and then later when we will get some like in the future when we will get some like technologies, then we can give you the life back to your frozen body. So it's like you can see like it's just like really like phantasmagories, you know, where people like living and try to be like to believe in illusion that this is like something like just be in the present moment and enjoy just now, because this is just the one lifetime when you can like squeeze it to the maximum, and when you squeeze it to the maximum, that's it, that's like the perfection of life. And we can see like the what sages and what great personalities are talking about that, about these issues, and saying no, there is no nothing like you cannot enjoy here. It's full of miseries. If you think there is like something like you can enjoy, forget. You are in Maya, you are in illusion, you are covered. This is our not like our real position where we belong to. So who is saying like we don't belong here. What I'm doing here, I don't belong here. And that's our like the real thing, what's happening. We don't belong here. We are just like visitors, like just visiting here for some time in like different type of bodies. It's like just hiring some type of bodies, and there's like we are not these bodies. We are not this like which is like visiting here for some time. So we should be also like very careful how we will use this visit here in this material world, and not to be like too much attached and thinking that this is our real destination, like we finally get this like that this is our perfection of life. We can build like big empire, like big house, many children and everything, and just make it more and more and more. And what? It's like, and then one, finished. So you can see like the seed of suffering is within all pleasures of this world. And more we're trying to enjoy, that the more that seeds are taking root in our hearts. And the deeper the roots of the seeds of suffering go, the more we are suffering. And if there is no enjoyment in this world, there will be not so much suffering. Because suffering really is the frustration or our attempts to enjoy. But we cannot control whoever we may be. Even we try to be those who are the controller, who are the master of the situation. But we can see like how much we can control. We even cannot control our like when we go to toilet, we can see how much we control like the things, how big controller we are. So you can see like the Aditi wants to get relief from like such a difficult situation, and even if she's like in a very good position, she's like the mother of demigods, you know, like it's like you have like some good position, let's say like we have like the royal family, and it's some like queen, like the mother of like the whole royal family. It's a very good position, very like fame and safe position, we can say. But still, like even everyone is suffering, even whatever position it takes in this like higher, lower planetary system, material world. Everyone is suffering. So you can say that demigods are devotees, and most of them are like Kama Mishra Bhakti. And it means that they are serving Krishna, but utilizing their talents, but they are very much attached to most of them to enjoy at the same time. And we can say also that they have material desires. And we even, like the nature of this material world, whoever we are, wherever we are, suffering come in on form or another. And it's also interesting when we look like on like even if, like we mentioned before, that they lost everything, like their prestige, their service, the loss of their wealth and property, and they were like just kicked out from the house. And seeing that situation, Aditi was so filled with anxiety, and nothing can, like she was trying to find like some relief from that. And we can see like how attachment to children, even to grandchildren, is like such a strong strong thing. And I was thinking when we were reading these verses, like uh, in Kali Yuga, like to have children is even like, I mean, in a way, if the children are even produced, because there's so much abortion in the world, it's unbelievable. There is one site, it's called World Meter, and there are counting how much abortions is done, like from the beginning of the year, so let's say like after like half an year. So there is like 17 millions 84,385 6 7 8 9, and it's going like every second, like yeah. And that is, we are speaking about like abortions which are reported, so there is much more. So that's the situation in Kali Yuga, that even like to get birth is like not so, like
They don't want to enjoy birth.
yeah, it will not happen, because you will be killed in the womb of your mother. That's like the reality. Whatever we try to like try to cover it or make it like that everyone can choose whatever you like, it's your choice, it's like your, you know, it's part of your body, you can choose what you want to do with your body. No one can say like what should be done. And we can see it's like such a sinful like society, like killing their own children in the womb, killing cows. We can even we like thinking like it's idyllic. We can just walk around, and just nearby we can find like another, you know, say like concentration camp, like this chicken just nearby here. There's another concentration camp, like it's like, and it's just in front of our, like just behind us. It's everywhere, all around us.
Please forgive me to interrupt you. There is a little bird outside this window. It's I think it's not able to fly, or it's injured. I don't know, Red Cross or Green Cross, there is someone who has information of such kind of things. I don't know what to do with this. This little bird outside, we can call someone and they can come and help her out, or someone can have a look at it.
All the cats look on it.
In the temple.
Is there now or?
Yeah, maybe after the class, let Prabhu finish the class.
In a cardboard with hay and...
Yeah. That's the question.
Life, no?
Huh?
It looks like life.
Yeah, that's someone can.
Suffering, as you say, everywhere.
Yeah, that's the idyllic situations happening all the time in front of our eyes. Once we also tried to, when we were traveling, as one devotee, and we also found like one small bird, and he tried to save him, and one devotee told him, just leave him like it is. And he said, no, I will save him. So they put him into some box and they put like little water around him, like into some, like he can drink. And after a few hours, they found him that he drowned in this water. So, I mean, like, that's the reality, you know, we try to sometimes save, but if it's like destiny somewhere else, like what we can do, we can just, the safest position is to like just chant Hare Krishna and to help like maybe others to give them like some Mahaprasadam or whatever, and what we can do, which I mean like we cannot be like those who are the controller or those who will like we can try our best. So we can see also like in Bhagavad Gita, Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana, like Dhritarashtra was also like how he was attached to Duryodhana, even if he was like doing so many like things which were definitely like not very favorable. Still Dhritarashtra was like supporting him, and that we can say that that's the real like blind, when someone is blind, it's like this attachment to his son was like that it was the real like blindness.
So we used to say love is blind.
So when Kashyapa he saw like the condition of the Aditi, he asked her wife like what's wrong, and he present like many like different reasons, like what's the problem. He asked like, did you receive a guest properly? Did you not practice the principles morality? And there were so many questions, and he said like, actually I have done everything right, and there was no mistake like this. And the reason was that I am so much in anxiety because our sons are suffering and they have lost everything. And you are such a great Prajapati, such a powerful personality. So she is begging with such a sincere heart. And in next verses there will be explained like when she will say like, "O Brahmana, tell me the regulative principles by which I may can worship the Supreme Master of the world, so that he will be pleased with me and fulfill all my desires. O best of Brahmanas, kindly instruct me in the perfect method of worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead in devotional service, by which the Lord may very soon be pleased with me and save me along with my sons from this most dangerous condition." So she's approaching her husband as her guru, and we can find in many places like what is the how we should approach the guru. It should be not some like fashionable way, like, oh, he's like such a good kirtaniya, and like that's I will accept him as a spiritual master, or he's like he looks nice, so I will accept him as a spiritual master. Like we should be very attentive, like who is that person who we like consider as a spiritual master. If we are able to follow like his instructions, it's like inspire us in devotional life. So Kashyapa Muni has also another wife, and her name was Diti, and she was mother of demons. And in the 6th canto, this mother Diti, she's also like asking some favor from Kashyapa Muni. So I would like to read something from that 6th canto. So Diti's sons they were known as Maruts, and how they were elevated to the position of demigods. When just to help Indra, Lord Vishnu had killed Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. Because of this, Diti was very envious, and she was eager to have a son who could kill Indra. So Diti was also like in a very unhappy position when all like these two sons like Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu were killed. So she wanted some revenge, like okay, I will now kill Indra, and she was ready to ask Kashyapa for some boons, for some like blessings that she can achieve that. So Diti was thinking, Indra considered his body eternal, and thus he has become unrestrained. I therefore wish to have a son who can remove Indra's madness. Let me adopt some means to help me in this. And by her service, she enchanted Kashyapa Muni in order to beg from him a greater son to do this. And Kashyapa Muni was attracted to his beautiful wife and promised to grant her any request. Thinking in this way, Diti began constantly acting to satisfy Kashyapa by her pleasing behavior. O king, Diti always carried out Kashyapa's orders very faithfully as he desired, with service, love, humility, and control, with words spoken very sweetly to satisfy her husband, and with smiles and glances at him, Diti attracted his mind and brought it under her control. Although Kashyapa Muni was a learned scholar, he was captivated by Diti's artificial behavior, which brought him under her control. Therefore, he assured his wife that he would fulfill her desires. Such a promise by a husband is not at all astonishing. O my dear one, the most powerful sage Kashyapa, being extremely pleased by the mild behavior of his wife Diti, smiled and spoke to her as follows. Kashyapa Muni said, O beautiful woman, O irreproachable lady, since I am very much pleased by your behavior, you may ask me for any benediction you want. If a husband is pleased, what desires are difficult for his wife to obtain, either in this world or in the next? A husband is the supreme demigod for a woman. The supreme personality of Godhead, Lord Vasudeva, the husband of the goddess of fortune, is situated in everyone's heart and is worshipped through the various names and forms of the demigods by fruity workers. Similarly, a husband represents the Lord as the object of worship for a woman. And he's describing like a few more things. And Diti then replied, O my husband, O great soul, I have now lost my sons. If you want to give me a benediction, I ask you for an immortal son who can kill Indra. I pray for this because Indra, with the help of Vishnu, has killed my two sons, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. Upon hearing Diti's request, Kashyapa Muni was very much aggrieved. Alas, he lamented, now I face the danger of the impious act of killing Indra. Alas, I have now become too attached to material enjoyment. Taking advantage of this, my mind has been attracted by the illusory energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of a woman, my wife. Therefore, I am surely a wretched person who will glide down toward hell. So that's what Kashyapa Muni is like saying, is like, it's quite strong words. This woman, my wife, has adopted a means that follows her nature, and therefore she is not to be blamed. But I am a man, therefore all condemnation upon me. I am not all conversant with what is good for me, since I could not control my senses. A woman's face is as attractive and beautiful as a blossoming lotus flower during autumn. Her words are very sweet and they give pleasure to the ear. But if we study a woman's heart, we can understand it to be extremely sharp, like the blade of a razor. In these circumstances, who could understand the dealings of a woman? To satisfy their own interests, women deal with men as if the men were most dear to them, but no one is actually dear to them. Women are supposed to be very saintly, but for their own interest they can kill even their husbands, sons or brothers, or cause them to be killed by others. I promise to give her a benediction, and this promise cannot be violated. But Indra does not deserve to be killed. In these circumstances, the solution I have is quite suitable. Shukadeva Goswami continued, Kashyapa Muni, thinking in this way, becomes somewhat angry. Condemning himself, O Maharaj Parishit, descendant of Kuru, he spoke to Diti as follows. My dear gentle wife, if you follow my instructions regarding this vow for at least 1 year, you will surely get a son who will be able to kill Indra. However, if you deviate from this vow of following the Vaishnava principles, you will get a son who will be favorable to Indra. So, however, she requested a son who will kill Indra. He condemned himself and he advised his wife Diti to follow the Vaishnava ritualistic ceremonies to purify herself. And we can see what will happen next. Diti will continue. I must accept your advice and follow the vow. Now let me understand what I have to do, what is forbidden and what will not break the vow. Please clearly state all this to me. So Kashyapa Muni started explaining what she should do, that she should be non-violent, she should not curse anyone, she should not speak any lies, and she never enter the water while bathing, never be angry, never associate with wicked people, and so quite a lot of things he mentioning. And if you perform this ceremony called Punsavana, adhering to the vow with faith for at least 1 year, you will give birth to a son, this time to kill Indra. But if there is any discrepancy in the discharge of this vow, the son will be a friend to Indra. So when Diti followed the instruction of Kashyapa, engaged in devotional service, Indra could understand her purpose and began observing all her activities. Of course, Indra was afraid that this is dangerous. Diti, she is very focused to really kill him. And we know when someone is really focused to achieve some goal, it's it can be very dangerous, especially for Indra, who is controlling and heavenly planets, and he's in a very good position, so he's all the time afraid of someone who would like to take his position and his wealth and property and everything. So Indra understood Diti's purpose, and thus he contrived to fulfill his own interests. Following the logic of that self-preservation is the first law of nature. He wanted to break Diti's promise. Thus he engaged himself in the service of Diti, and he was residing in an ashram. And he was just observing Diti's duties, and he was waiting for one moment. And there is it's after some times when Diti was little tired, he found one mistake. Having grown weak and thin because of strictly following the principles of the vow, Diti once unfortunately neglected to wash her mouth, hands and feet after eating and went to sleep during the evening twilight. One day Indra had the opportunity to see her deviating from devotional service. And thus he entered her womb and cut her son into 49 parts. In this way, the 49 kinds of air known as the Maruts appeared, but because Diti had performed the Vaishnava ritualistic ceremonies, all the Maruts became Vaishnavas. So it's good. So finding this fault, Indra entered the Diti's womb while she was unconscious, being fast asleep, and help of his thunderbolt cut into 7 pieces her embryo, which appeared like glowing gold. In 7 places, 7 different living beings began crying. Indra told them, "Do not cry," and then he cut each of them into 7 pieces again. O king, being very much grieved, they pleaded to Indra with folded hands, saying, "Dear Indra, we are the Maruts, your brothers, why are you trying to kill us? When Indra saw that actually they were in devoted followers, he said to them, if you are all my brothers, you have nothing more to fear from me. And Shukadeva Goswami continued like, my dear King Parikshit, you were burned by the Brahmastra of Ashwatthama, but when Lord Krishna entered the womb of your mother, you were saved. Similarly, although the one embryo was cut into 49 pieces by the thunderbolt of Indra, they were all saved by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, in this way, like even Diti trying to, in the beginning, like to kill the Indra when she get birth like to these 49 like sons, then she saw like in front of her was also like Indra like present there, and he was like asking for like excuse, like all best of women, I am a fool. Kindly excuse me for whatever offenses I have committed. Your 49 sons have been born unhurt because of your devotional service. As an enemy, I cut them to pieces, but because of your great devotional service, they did not die. Diti was extremely satisfied by Indra's good behavior. Then Indra offered his respects to his own with profuse obeisances, and with her permission, he went away to the heavenly planets with his brothers, the Maruts. So we can see Diti, Aditi, both of them are approaching like Kashyapa Muni with protection, with protect her, and Diti protect her to kill the Indra. Aditi with approaching to protect her sons from the situation where they are, like they lost everything and they are like homeless, so please help. So we can see that this is like emotional suffering, and this emotional suffering can even like produce more pain like that physical suffering. We can see sometimes like physical work is sometimes much more, we can be much more exhausted from physical work than like physical work. And even like Aditi was like perfect health, she no dizzy, like everything was perfectly, but like how she was suffering because of material emotional attachment, because she was identifying her body and identifying her children as her body. And that was the situation where we can see what is the like ABC of like spiritual knowledge, like you are not this body, you are spirit soul. So also when we can see like this similar situation when we again like look on Pandus, when they lost their kingdom, when they saw like the disgrace of their wife Draupadi, there were so many problems, and but Arjuna, he never give up. Like they were still like they continue, even it was like for them like really like emotional anxiety, and the nature of this world to put us in a perplexing situations. No matter what we do, no matter how good we are or bad we are, it is not being pious means you will be happy. It means being pious, you will find some happiness in a world that is full of complexities. And in that state, like Pandus also begged Krishna. And it was like just begging, please save me, I need your shelter. I have been your friend all of these years. We had friendly talks. But now, please instruct me. I am your disciple. Kashyapa doshaparasvabaha prichamitam samsutam. Please save me, I cannot tolerate this. He was burning of fire, and it was his state of mind. And this then when we start to listening the whole Bhagavad Gita, and he accepting the role of the disciple, and he accept Krishna as his guru, as his teacher. So we can see how important is the association of the devotees, sadhu sangam, and we can see how this is good for, is so important to for devotees to have proper association of those who are in touch, who are connected with Krishna, because those who are connected to Krishna, they can also bestow that or make that connection with others, that connection to others, how to connect to Krishna. Even if you can see even if we can be in the family of devotees, we can have so many good opportunities how we can be engaged in devotional service. But it's again up to us how we will take it seriously and how we will use this sadhu sangha in the way that it will be benefited for us, in a way that we will be connected. We will be in Krishna consciousness. We will be more Krishna conscious. It's all the time upon us, which association we will choose.
Prabhupada used to say that we are in a plane and we are alone, so no other plane around can save us if we cry. But the only thing that it can help us is the radio. The radio. The world from Jivananda.
So we can see, as I mentioned, that this ABC of this life is that we are not this body, we are spirit soul, but why we what interrupt this our real relationship? You can say it's forgetfulness, that we really forgot what is our real identity, and now we identify ourselves and others as things or the bodies, and that's also the case of Aditi, that she is she thinks as when my kids are suffering, I am also suffering, because this is this belongs to me. So in one sense we can say how it's possible even Aditi is such an elevated person, and it's she's also suffering. It's amazing, isn't it? And you can see Krishna, he wants us to make happy. He wants that we are happy. He doesn't want us to suffer, but he doesn't want us to be happy in a way that we are just getting the roots of suffering go deeper and deeper in our hearts in the name of happiness, because this is ultimately everything is taken away. So that's hard, how to overcome all of this. So Krishna wants us to awaken our love, the ecstasy of the heart. So we have to go through some temporary problems, with these things which we are attached, and in order to help us to actually take shelter of the process of bhakti. And that's the important. I mean, and the rules and regulations are there to keep us steady. So we follow the rules and regulations, but it is not just following, it's how we follow. It's the whole spirit, the whole mood, the whole attitude in which we are doing the things. How we will, for example, take shelter of the holy name, how we will take shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam, and like that. And I will just mention one interesting point. Yes, it's already quite a lot of 9:15. So Kashyapa, he was not on false ego. He was not on false ego. I mean, like he can be in a position when like there was the whole description of Diti, how beautifully she was, how she approached him, how like she was completely like perplexed, like, yes, I will do whatever you want. And we can see so many examples, like in Bhagavatam, like another like personality is doing the same thing. But when he recognized, oh, it's like what I did, it was like this not good, and he immediately tried to connect her with devotional service, like how I can connect like Diti or Aditi with devotional service. And Aditi, she wants an offspring. She wants someone who is going to reclaim the property of her children. And Kashyapa said, when I decide offspring, I place inquiries before Lord Brahma, and I am not going to give you something original or new. I am not going to give you something that I have created by my artistically brilliant genius. I am not going to tell you something that the world has never seen or heard due to my sublime realizations. I am going to repeat to you what I heard from Brahma. There is no ego in this. You can see that it's parampara system. He's just repeating the same message what he heard before from like the supreme, his superiors, from Lord Brahma, from like his acharyas, from his teachers. And we can see like in the example of Srila Prabhupada, like what's the real humility is. I am just the servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord. I am just repeating the message. When you are feeling you are just repeating the message that is being there, that you have received from your Guru. It is a humble state. Because in that state, you give credit to your Guru and his Guru and his Guru. It is not about me. It is not like serving. If we are thinking that we are the doers, we are those who are taking control, that's not like humble stage. The humble stage that all credit what we are doing, we give to those who already, we're just repeating like the parrot. We're just repeating the same message which was already like spoken. Because that message is eternal. And this eternal message is like the manual for our heart, for our soul, which is also eternal. That's the real manual how to go back home, back to God. That's the real connection. Not just this temporary body or these temporary things or our thing which we are thinking in a way which is also temporary and is nothing connected with this eternal solution. So I think I will finish here. So thank you very much for your kindly attention. And we can also take like nice example of Prahlad Maharaj. He was all the time remembering Krishna, Manmana Bhava Mad Bhakto. And also we can see like Bali Maharaj is representing Atmanivedanam, surrendering everything to the Lord. So you can see Bali Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj. Both of these big personalities were born from the like wombs of like the family of the demons. So it was like very auspicious. So very auspicious.
So it's up to us, as you say, the way that we relate to.
Yes, so we are continuing the same message, and by association of devotees, is sadhu sangha, sarva shastra kaya, talavantra sadhu sangha, sarva siddhihaya. Even one moment of association with the pure-hearted sadhus can open the doors of the highest perfection in life. So we can, it's up to us how many times we want to spend with the sadhus. We have to find the sadhus all around us, and we can, even if we are not sure who the sadhu is, what are the qualities of the sadhu, we can be sure in one thing, and that's the qualities of Srila Prabhupada. That Srila Prabhupada is the real sadhu. And even if we are not like maybe someone disappointed us, or we are like, oh, I was thinking that this is the saintly person, and now I see like he's acting in a way which is not maybe so good. But we can be sure that Srila Prabhupada, and if we will follow Srila Prabhupada and his instruction, his books, we're reading his books and his instructions, that's the safe way, that's the safe boat which we can go through the ocean, which is like sometimes like the when it's like storm in the ocean, it can be like sometimes very wild. But when we have good captain, like Srila Prabhupada, we can cross that ocean very easily. And
we have connection with his Vani, we say.
yes.
So for us, it's easier than for the one who have not so much book from his spiritual master. Most of the time, they don't see us.
There is one thing. I mean, like even during Prabhupada's time, when they were distributing books, Prabhupada asking, "Are you reading my books?" And he found like that they are not reading his books. So he was like stressing, "Read my books, not just distribute them, just read them." And he was alone. Prabhupada was reading his books, not just because he want like, oh, it's like, you know, I am the best. I am the best. I know everything. Who are you? No, he was just like, because Krishna dictated me this, and I just want to have association of Krishna.
Yes, I read in Jivananda that in fact the dharma of our soul is to be bhakti, to share with bhakti, and through this bhakti we can connect with Krishna. So sometimes a spiritual master came in front of our eyes, like Srila Prabhupada, and he bring from the parampara the dharma, and this is we put our obeisance to the dharma that he bring more than the person that he is, because the dharma is eternal. It come from
It's eternal.
Yeah, so we can chew and chew and chew this dharma. It's always tasty. It's not like you say in the beginning. For a matter or when you chew something.
That's the higher taste.
Yeah.
When we get higher taste, then whatever is like lower, it's not so tasty. Like we know, like when you once taste something that is very good, whatever is offered to you, you all the time like, oh, you remember still like, oh, there was one day I tasted something that was so good, and you want to again. You want it to again, like in kirtan, when once someone like tastes a little bit of kirtan, and then he was all the time remembering like, that was such a good kirtan, and it's like all the time like there is like this, I want to again like taste it, and you cannot compare with anything material, because you will not find that you can try everything, but you will not find that pleasure that anywhere.
It's always tastier than before.
Yeah, because it's a spiritual platform. That's the real medicine. That's the real thing.
And even us, with the lower position we have, we can already taste that prasadam. It's always better than yesterday. We taste that. Even kirtan, it's not playing by the most musician we can ever hear, but it's always new, always fresh, always.
This was Jivananda Prabhu's mood. They asked him like, what is the best prasadam? And he said like, today is the best prasadam. And next day they ask him when, like, what? Oh, today is the best prasadam what I ever eat.
But and it's very true.
Yeah.
We can also experience this.
Yeah, it's like also with the Harinam. What was? Oh, there was such an amazing Harinam. And so like, oh, the last Harinam was the best Harinam. And again, it's like new and new and new. It's never be like boring.
And sometimes you are three to make Harinam is ecstatic. And sometimes you are 1,000, it's ecstatic also.
It's our consciousness. If our consciousness is purified, when we are like, we can see the things which are in our consciousness. If our consciousness is polluted, we see all these dirty things all around, everywhere. We are like the fly. Even in the like nice field full of flowers, we just find like one small and we just we put all this all around us, and the opposite. When we can be even like in the like place where is like so many sinful activities, but if our consciousness is right, it's like heavenly planets. We can just like be happy and share. If we have something what we have experienced that is like good and it's like it's working.
That's what I want.
And we want to automatically share with others because you have like the best gift what you can offer to others to help them also to taste, because we are not keeping just for ourselves to like have like some private chateau somewhere in abandoned place and then now we can enjoy the higher ecstasy like alone. No, we just want to share with others and we want to give this taste to others, this higher taste. And that's why all these activities we are doing, this missionary work. That's why Srila Prabhupada is so important in Parampara. We can find like so many, like nowadays, like so many paths of bhakti or so many like followers of bhakti and like in many like different schools and teachings, but no one was like doing like Srila Prabhupada did, like this missionary work to go and share with others, to give them like this direct connection, to go alone in Calcutta with the magazines and distribute them. No one did it. It's just that like the missionary work which like in our condition can help us also to come slowly to like clean our hearts. If we just thinking we just Rasa Lila and this and then which I mean like we just try to overjump somewhere, we have to go like slowly step by step. And Prabhupada he saw like which condition like Western devotees, like people in Western countries are. And that's why he give like the whole process of sadhana bhakti and everything. The whole manual, like if you will do this, then you will see. And we can see after 50 years, and those who are following that process, where they are and how this process is working. That's the proof. That's the proof. As he said, like when they approach him, can you make some magician? Can you show us like some ash from your or something, like make a gold egg, something called gold egg or whatever. And Prabhupada, look on that. This is my proof. These disciples are my proof. This is like I turn them from hippies to happies. So we are in the good, in a good way to how to turn our hippie mentality to happy mentality, and by association of devotees, advanced devotees, and mercy of Srila Prabhupada and other senior devotees, it's like everything is possible. As Bhagavati Mataji mentioned yesterday, like it's inconceivable that she's sitting here. I'm also like thinking the same. Like even I'm sitting here, it's like miracle that Sajaraska like me can like sit here and like saying something to, at least I can glorify to Srila Prabhupada and others. But it's just the mercy of spiritual master, mercy of the devotees, and mercy of the holy dham, and mercy of the deities. And like we should be like the beggars. That's the real position. We should be like the beggar for the mercy all the time, like to just be like exactly like the bee, like flying and trying to search for the nectar. There is one good example, is like Vishnujan, not our small Vishnujan, but Vishnujan from Harinam Ruchi. And he is really like the bee. He's just flying all around the world and finding some nectar, like here, there, everywhere, like every day on Harinam, and just like the bee, just collecting the nectar. And there should be our mentality, that we should like to try to find the nectar everywhere, in every step, and then we can really say like every step is like it's not more steps, it's like the dancing. It's like the dancing. So thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo.
Imagine connecting with